Hi, welcome to the March Cup of Caring. We have our guest today, Kendall Concini. Kendall, tell us all about you and what you do at the ARC.
I am the manager of admissions, information, and referral.
Ah, fantastic. Because our subject today is when do we apply to the DDA? We are talking about transitioning youth, particularly today, which is the age of what, 14 to 21-ish, right?
Yep. So DDA, Developmental Disabilities Association, is the organization that controls the waiver for your kid. And a waiver is basically your golden ticket to get services. There are a lot of different waivers that the Maryland Pathways Finder for Autism can certainly has a great resource to help you look through. DDA is the one you need for adult services. You can apply to DDA at any time to find out if your child is eligible. So if you're a proactive parent, really there's no youngest age, but our recommendation is really parents begin to apply around 14 because when you are applying to DDA, I always say more is more. So the more documents you have to support the eligibility, then the more DDA has to look at to approve the services that you're ultimately going to end up requesting.
So basically, you deal with a lot of these. Like we should have said that when you're applying to the ARC, so you're leaving the school system and you're applying to the ARC because your child or you have now become an adult in the eyes of, this all these systems, right? So the school system says this was what we were offering and you were under maybe an individualized education program or path, as our students are telling us they'd like it to be called these days. And now I'm an adult. So I have graduated from the IEP to the PCP. And that means I am going to need to apply for adult services through the DDA because the school system, is gone. That's not a support now. I am now an adult. So what you do is handle a lot of those admissions and inquiries for us. And your first step is you've got to apply to the DDA and determine what do they do when you apply.
So when DDA determines your eligibility, there is an eligibility flow chart you can access on DDA. There's a lot of boxes on it. So if you want to know more about the flow chart, call me separately and we can go through it piece by piece. But they are going to basically decide which waiver you are going under based on which priority category you are in. And again, I'm always going to say more is more. Priority categories can range from crisis resolution, crisis prevention, current request, future needs request. So the more paperwork you are providing to show eligibility, then DDA is putting you in a priority category. So if you are someone who really needs services for your child to kick in before 21, you want to get started with something at 18, you need to look at what the crisis resolution eligibility is and target your paperwork towards that. The reason I always start off with "Are you waivered?" is because DDA's eligibility determination also has different waivers. So there are a number of waivers, and I don't want to overload you with all
I
the
know it's a
technical
lot.
ones, but I feel so bad in admissions when we have all of these services to offer and I start talking about one that's going to solve all of your problems, but then DDA didn't waiver you for it, then we can't provide that. So
So a waiver
starting
kind
at
of it
DDA
means
is one.
money. It's your
Yeah.
budget. Like if in talking layman's terms, I guess money is you have enough money or you have the exact services on your waiver that are going to pay for these particular adult services. So I like the way you said that. You've got the solution, but TDIA has to ultimately approve the service. So your eligibility determination determines you are eligible for services, but then the waiver will determine which services the student will get as an adult or the person will get as an adult. Right. So it's complicated. So let's say I applied for the DDA waiver And am I now on a waiting list? Do they call me? How do I learn where I am in that process, or my
There
child?
is a waiting list. We love proactive parents because there is a sweet spot in transitioning youth getting priority in getting off the wait list. So the
Okay.
14 to 21, the 14 to possibly 22, depending on graduation year, is when you're getting approved off the wait list. Once you apply, you're waiting on your DDA eligibility determination letter. And if you're curious where you are, you can always reach out to your region's eligibility supervisor and just ask, what's my waitlist status. If you have a service coordinator, because you're in around the 17 and up age, your service coordinator can start helping check in with DDA and see the paperwork you need, and what category you're on.
So there's a lot there. I know that one of the things we talked about is that this is complicated, and this what podcast is not going to solve everyone's problems, but that we are available, and you can call, you can email us, you can email Kendall, you can email resources at the arcccr.org, and we will get you to the right person in the system if that's what you need. There's tons of websites, and we could send you a million different places, but the best we think is just to reach out to us. And if you're starting the journey and it just doesn't make any sense, give us a call. Kendall also is the co-host, as it were, of our transition series in the Anne Arundel County Public Schools, which we have a monthly guest and a monthly topic that talks about some of these issues for our parents. So very knowledgeable, lots of information, but we encourage you to reach out. Is that correct?
Yes, DDA is almost like a secret language. There's, a lot of acronyms: DDA, CCS, PCP, TY, eligibility flowchart. What waiver are you under? And then I can list the waivers forever. Using us as a resource to help kind of navigate translating that as best as we can is certainly easier. And it also comes down to it's great to just have a conversation per person, because everybody's case is different in how we approach that more is more paperwork philosophy, to help families direct them on what they could be doing to strengthen their DDA application, or what to do in the meantime while waiting for it, how they can get involved. So there's a lot to it, that certainly merits, if you're proactive enough to listen to this chat, be proactive enough to schedule a call.
I love how you put that, Kendall. If you put this 10 minutes in, you can put in another 10 minutes. So thanks so much for your time today. And we look forward to our parents reaching out, and we'll see you next time.